shockingly, according to preseason win totals, preseason predictions, even for like a lot of Spurs players, when they were asked what their goals were for the season, a lot of them were saying play in. I think everyone thought it was so bold when Wemby said he wanted to be the 6th seed. The San Antonio Spurs won 60-plus games for the first time since the 2017-2018 season. Is it 2017-2018 season or 2016-2017 season? Regardless, Kawhi's last healthy year with the team when he got his foot stepped on by Zaza Pachulia against the Warriors in Game 1.
I was so mad about that.
And as a bit of an aside, we played the Warriors last week, and all of a sudden Zaza Pachulia, just like the camera pans and he's sitting courtside. And as a whole, Spurs Twitter was like,
don't let that man near Wemby.
Yeah, get that man the frick away from the floor. Like,
Was
I can't
that
believe
at
he has the nerve
Golden
to sit
State?
there. Yeah, it
That
was
wasn't
at
the game
Golden
when
State.
Wemby got hurt.
It was
right?
not.
Okay.
He got hurt in Philly. But
That's right.
that was the last time we won 60 games. We've been to the playoffs once since that 60-win season, but this is the first time for the Spurs back in the playoffs.
Shout out Derek
in
White.
6 years. Shout out Derek White. And they get back to the playoffs in resounding fashion as the 2 seed. Their last 15 games have a net rating of 16.9, which is quite phenomenal. Oh, I lied. 13.8. Sorry, I read OKC's net rating again. 13.8 is still quite good. This season has really been spurred by the leap of Wemby to a consensus top 5. Most people probably even say top 3 consensus player in the NBA. Just what he's done defensively as well as offensively in the scoring, but then even just the gravity he creates. And then his leap has coincided with a year 2 leap from Stephon Castle. They brought in Dylan Harper as a 2nd overall pick in the draft as a rookie, who's just been a phenomenal guard and a luxury to have off the bench. He's going to end up shooting over 50% on the season as a rookie guard, which is just an anomaly that just rarely happens. It's pretty known that rookie guards typically have pretty crappy efficiency, which you could argue he got to do that because he came off the bench, so he didn't get a high dose. But regardless, phenomenal. De'Aaron Fox, first full healthy season with the Spurs has gone well, and then it's allowed the pieces to fill in around that. Your guys like Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, who have been here a while, but typically have been asked to take on bigger roles and probably too big of roles for the quality of players they are. They're allowed to kind of step back and take more supporting roles, and that's allowed them to blossom. Even the guy like Julian Champagnie, that same effect has been played on.
Dog.
He's so cold, man.
He is.
He's someone I expect to have a game in the playoffs at some point where he just like hit 7 threes.
Like a Grant Williams type game?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or even like
Game 7 when he hit, I think it was 7 or 8 threes.
Yeah, just like randomly will go off.
Yeah.
And there'll be a lot of, I don't want to say casuals, but people that like, only loosely follow the regular season will then be like, who the heck is this guy? Luke Cornett has been a great signing as the backup big. It's a weird combo of like it really has been Wemby, but then at the same time they've actually played pretty well without Wemby and have a good winning percentage without Wemby. But yeah, none of this happens without Wemby, and that's the biggest question probably for these playoffs. I would say is not just for the Spurs but for all of NBA is like, okay, we say Wemby's this top 5, potentially top 3 consensus NBA player, but he's never played a minute in the playoffs. So like, how is he going to perform? How is his body going to hold up against the physicality? He's playing less than 30 minutes a game. If he bumps it up to 35, 36,
yeah.
Does his play drop off? Does he get gassed? How's the stamina? Yada, yada, yada. That's what everyone's looking for. That's what I'm looking for as a Spurs fan. And then kind of secondary to that is like, we've been phenomenal since February 1st, and a lot of that has coincided with a rise in three-point shooting from guys like Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper, guards that aren't really known for their three-point shot. And, like, is that going to continue in the playoffs? When we need them, when they get a wide-open 3 because Wemby just rolled and 3 guys, crashed him, and so you just hit the swing pass or the skip pass to the wide-open Stephon Castle in the corner, is he going to keep hitting that shot and knocking it down like he did down the stretch of the regular season? Because if not, it gets a little scary.
Yeah. Excuse me. I think the Wemby physicality question is a huge one, especially like the under 30 minutes played. He's going to I would assume that's going to be upticked to 32 to 35 at least.
It's got to be.
It's
I mean,
got to be.
As well as it worked during the regular season, you just can't expect it to continue to work in the playoffs.
On top of the fact he bruised his rib a week ago.
Yep, good point.
Today in Philly, and he's going. One of the things that has kind of worked to a degree, and it's no shock, is that throwing physical bodies at him has slowed him down or lessened his powers offensively to a degree.
Yeah,
and he's going to face Donovan Clingan in round 1.
Most likely. Yep,
that's a joke. That's the first of 2 Donovan Clingan jokes today.
Cool.
There's another one coming. But Jokic, more specifically in round 2, is a really big question mark. Embiid in the finals, of course.
Naturally.
Also a joke.
Well, he's probably going to have. We're running out of health crises
This
for
is
him
true.
to be in. I'm trying to think what it could be.
That's just a funny matchup too. Like if they played right now, who could be more physical against the other? Bruised rib versus the guy who just got his appendix removed.
Yeah.
Who can back down?
Sorry, I was who got his appendix
Joel
removed?
Embiid did.
Okay. I was researching something.
Yeah, crazy. We have a question in the chat real quick. How many games
do
do you
have
think
a
it takes
question.
for the Knicks to beat Thunder in the finals when they see each other? So assuming this is the outcome that happens, I would say it would take the Knicks 7 games to beat the Thunder, if it has to happen.
I think it's going to take any team 7 games to beat the Thunder.
I mean, that is probably true. I guess you'll have to stick around and see if we actually have the Knicks making the finals, and if that we perceive that matchup as one to happen.
Also, welcome in Deagle Pop. I don't recognize that username, so
I do think
happy
it
you
would
had
take.
to join us.
I agree with Sanders. I think it would take 7 games to beat the Thunder pretty much regardless.
Sure.
Unless they were able to steal Game 5 after either splitting the first 2 in OKC or winning both at home.
Sure.
Then I think maybe they could steal Game 6 on the road. But I do think it would take 7 for the Knicks to beat the Thunder if that were to become the matchup. But I don't think that's going to be the matchup.
Sure.
And then, Jack,
my opinion.
I have a question for you. Are you nervous? We can have this conversation. Are you nervous about who is the team you're most nervous about as a Spurs fan?
It's the Nuggets because they're. I mean, I shouldn't even count. I'm counting my chickens before they hatch. Like I expect us to win the first round. It would be a massive disappointment, be a shock if we can't beat whoever ends up winning
Donovan
the Suns
Clingan's
Blazers
a solid
game.
player.
He is a solid player, and it is interesting. Both times we played the Blazers this year, Wemby didn't play, so we haven't seen that matchup yet.
Oh boy.
And then the Nuggets are next on the table. So as much as I'm worried about OKC, we have to get past one of the greatest offensive players ever first, and someone that, as fantastic as Wemby is defensively, Jokic is Jokic. He'll hit his little weird Sombor shuffle, just over the head chuck, and it'll just go in.
Anthony Davis struggled immensely against Jokic.
The Jamal Murray's had a fantastic season, and the Jamal Murray Jokic dribble handoff is just phenomenal. It's impactful. It stretches Wemby in a way that most other things don't, because Wemby typically can just play in the drop and still affect shooters and whatnot. But it is just it's kind of the best look you'll get in basketball is that action right there. It's the best action in basketball, and so I just have to watch that over and over again. Now, the flip side is, as we saw in their matchup last week, it's pretty easy to score against Denver. They've been terrible defensively. Some of it is due to injury, so maybe they tighten up a little bit on that end.
They also just have one defender,
Aaron Gordon. And then
That's
maybe a little Peyton Watson, but it really is Aaron Gordon. And he is someone that maybe can match up with Wemby well because he's really strong and he can still move pretty well. But yeah, it's the Nuggets just because they're first on the list. And the thought of having to beat a Jokic team 4 times feels like such a crazy tall task.
They're also the only of the top 4 seeds that y'all didn't win the regular season series against.
Correct.
Y'all beat the Thunder 3-2. Y'all beat
4-1.
4-1. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Y'all beat the Lakers. Maybe that one was 3-2.
Yeah.
With the NBA Cup and all that.
Yeah,
but
I think we only beat Denver once, and funnily enough, it was a game Wemby didn't even play in.
Oh, that's
Shout out
funny.
Devin Vassell for just
And then
catching
y'all
a heater
beat
in that game.
Who's the final?
Rockets.
Are the Rockets the 4 seed?
They're the
Lakers
seed.
are the 4 seed.
Lakers are the 4 seed. Y'all beat the Lakers. Yeah, so y'all beat the Thunder and the Lakers. and the Rockets as well, I believe. But you did not beat the Nuggets or the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves, I think, beat y'all 2-1, or y'all tied 1-1.
I think we tied 1-1.
Yeah.
I feel like we would have played a third matchup, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. So.
And then Deagle, I will be rooting for the Knicks, I guess, because I don't want you to
I
lose
won't
your
be.
life savings. I can't. Hey, he's a new listener. I can't root for him to lose his life savings. And Jalen Brunson's kind of funny. He looks like a little
what's
kid.
the saying? Make stupid bets, win stupid prizes, or something like
yeah,
that.
that is a saying.
That's
But
what
I
it
don't
is.
think applies in this case.
The stupid prize he wins is having no money. So
Enjoy your
I'd say
stupid
that's on
prize,
him.
I guess.
Sorry, Deagle Pop. Anything else on the Spurs?
I don't think the Knicks making the finals is that bad of a bet. I think you guys are joking on that.
Okay, it is making the finals. I didn't read that. It is
Apologies.
just not winning
I thought
the whole
it
thing.
said win the whole thing.
That is not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. My last thing on the Spurs is, and I wanted to touch on it when you said it earlier, the fact that Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson, it was supposed to be Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, and Wemby. That was supposed to be the big three.
Sure.
And the fact that they get to be now they are literally like the fifth and sixth guy on this team behind Dylan Harper, behind De'Aaron Fox, behind Stephon Castle, I think it's just really, really made this team really, really good. They do have championship experience to a degree in Luke Cornett.
Shout out Luke
and
Cornett, man.
Harrison Barnes as well.
Harrison Barnes
That's
does
crazy.
have negative championship experience.
He does.
He has kind of sold a championship before, but that's okay.
This is also true.
He's much older
he,
now.
Who did he sell it for?
At the 73-9 Warriors team.
Oh, okay.
He just couldn't hit an open corner three to
Yeah.
save his life.
Wow, he has been in the league for a while.
He's
Yes.
easily he's the unk of the team.
He is.
Interesting.
He plays like it too,
Interesting.
because he's got the decel game in the lane, all that stuff.
Do you want to answer that question real quick while we
Yeah.
wrap up the Spurs,
This
and then
is a
we can
good
move
last
on to
question.
the
Sure.
East teams?
Because it's something that's kind of gone around a little bit of what did the Spurs do with De'Aaron Fox? Because when we traded for De'Aaron Fox, it was a fantastic move. It still is a fantastic move, but we didn't know we were gonna move up in the lottery and get to a place where we could draft Dylan Harper. And De'Aaron Fox has been great this season. Maybe you'd wish he would have wished he would have shot the three ball a little better. But barring a Wemby disaster class and him just clearly not being ready for the playoffs, when we lose, the spotlight's probably going to pivot to that again of De'Aaron Fox is the reason they lost, and then it'll be y'all just gave De'Aaron Fox the max and he still has 3 more years left or 4 more years left. I don't think they will. The Spurs are not one to make rash decisions as an organization. They pride themselves on that, and I think it would be another year down the line question. If we got eliminated in round 1 or round 2, I think we would just kind of circle the wagon, regroup, and come out firing next year, because his numbers have dipped a little bit this year, but think where he was playing to where he is playing now. He was playing for the hapless Sacramento Kings where he could just put up shots. He was the number 1 option, and now he has to try and figure out how to play alongside a guy like Wemby and Stephon Castle, where he doesn't always have the ball in crunch time moments. And so, yes, that has led to some clunkiness at times this season, where it's a little bit of your turn, my turn in crunch time. But I just don't really think that's going to be a factor in the playoffs, honestly, because I think they're just going to give the ball to Wemby and live or die by Wemby in crunch time. So I'm not really too worried about it. I'm going to be honest, and I don't think they're going to move on.
It's almost like it's up to Fox to be the guy when Wemby's on the bench, because like you talked about it, 30 minutes a game.
Yeah, and once again, I think that'll move up, but it is true. And De'Aaron Fox is one of the I won't say sole reason. He is the biggest reason we were so good in games without Wemby.
Right.
That we had such good winning percentage games without Wemby. Because you'd be like, okay, now it's my turn a little bit. I can kind of do my thing.
Yeah.
I simply am not too worried about it. And also, say he was really horrible and unplayable somehow in the playoffs, well, then we're stuck and we're not going to be able to get rid of him because the contract's so big. So,
I don't think that's going to be the case.
No, it's not.
Though. This is a former Clutch Player of the Year, whether you think that's that award is goofy or not. And in his only postseason experience, he was phenomenal in a 7-game series against the Golden State Warriors. A game where I will mention he broke one of the fingers on his shooting hand.
Yeah.
And was still scoring 20-plus throughout the rest of the series.
I think it's a great point, and I'm glad you brought that up because I think there's been some revisionist history as people are trying to get off these De'Aaron Fox takes that, like, oh, the one time he made the playoffs, like, they couldn't even advance in the playoffs. And no, you're right. He was great. It really was a Sabonis issue in the playoffs where Sabonis wasn't good enough to get them over the hump. And also, you just had to play against Steph Curry and the Warriors, who still had that swagger about him at the time, and they knew that they were former champs, and they still very much had that
they
DNA.
were defending champs at the time.
Yeah, correct. Great point. So it's De'Aaron Fox was good in that playoff run. That even though it was short.
I think De'Aaron Fox is going to play too well for that to be like the case where the blame is going to go on him.
It is.
I don't think there is any blame.
Correct.
There's no reason to have any blame unless they lose to the Donovan Clingan Portland Trailblazers, which could happen.
Sure.
I promised 2 Donovan Clingan jokes. I'm up to like 4 or 5 now.
It is.
But they are ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
You can think of them as the OKC Thunder 2 years ago.
And that is what a lot of people have said is like if you don't think the Spurs are going to run, it's because they haven't had any experience. Teams with no experience, teams with no experience have to go and get their face punched a couple times and then regroup and come back. So I have great copium if the Spurs do go out early. It's like
True.
okay, we just had to get some experience. Last thing I'll say, and then we can actually move on. It is going to be interesting in a couple years when like it's time to pay Stephon Castle and Wemby will be on a bigger contract, and then maybe what do we do with Dylan Harper? De'Aaron Fox probably is going to be the piece out the door, and I'm really interested to see how they do that at the time, how they move the contracts around.
He could go back to the Kings.
They would probably take him back.
Yeah.
Nah, he's a Texas guy.